Well, whether you are on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, on a trading floor in Midtown, anywhere else, there is lots to monitor. One reason for the optimism today, New York Federal Reserve Chair William Dudley basically said that in September, you will not see a rate hike. That is what he heavily implied in any case. He said dimmed amid rising concerns about events happening outside of America's borders. That is, of course, in the context of this supposed or potential September rate hike. My next guest says he has already made his decisions. He bought, in fact, 100,000 shares of Facebook on Monday. Social networking company was down at that time 8%, today up 5%. Billionaire investor Jeff Greene with me now on the phone. Jeff, thanks so much for joining us. We're glad to have your perspective, especially this week. So obviously you found the names, the tech and media names that you're interested in long term. You bought them. Did you get a good enough deal?
Well, of course. I mean, look, I think when you get a market like this, the analogy I use is like when there's a sale before Christmas. If you were looking at thinking of buying a certain suit or sport coat or pair of jeans and you wanted to buy it, but then suddenly it's 30% off, you go and snap it up. But if you see an ugly purple sport coat that happens to be 50% off, you shouldn't buy it ever. And the same with stocks. If there's certain companies, like I've been out looking at Facebook, kind of, waiting to jump in at the right moment. I saw it was down. I went and jumped in. But there's lots of great companies in America in the economy we're in, which got just overly beat up this week, and it was time to get in and buy them.
So, Jeffy, we're talking here about Facebook. Some of the other tech stocks that closed higher today, I'm going to go down my list. Apple, Google, Amazon, Netflix. Do any others strike you as a good deal right now?
Well, look, I mean, Apple and Google are my biggest holding. So it was a great day with Google up 8% today and Apple almost up 6%. But keep in mind, these are way off their highs. Apple's at $109.69. It was at $130, just $132 just a few weeks ago. So is it a good deal? Look, I believe in Apple. I think Apple's a solid, strong story for a while to come because they really don't have any competition in the high-end smartphone space at all.
Let me ask you, though, Jeff, what do you think about China? Because last year, the big question for Apple is, will the average middle-class Chinese person pay for an iPhone? There were a lot of doubters. Then Apple sold a lot. But now with all these moves from China, maybe their economy is not so strong. Therefore, maybe their consumers will not be so strong. Does that change the prospects for Apple? Well,
I think it may change them marginally, but look, I think they're going to be cheaper to make now with the lower currencies, so the rest of the world will be able to buy them at possibly even lower prices. Look, the China story to me is way overblown. I mean, to think that China's out of control, China is completely in control. It's in the control of their government. If they want to grow at 12%, 15%, they can decide to do that. So I think that the idea that the country is going to fall apart and be down to like a recession level is ridiculous. So maybe they'll go to 7% growth instead of 10% growth. There'll still be plenty of money being made by lots of people who will be able to buy those iPhones, and it's a very aspirational product for most Chinese people.
Jeff Greene, thank you so much. Love having you with us. Jeff Greene,
always a pleasure.
Billionaire investor, joining us there on the phone.